Imagine taking a deep breath. Not from today, but from 300 million years ago. That's essentially what's happening every time you fill your gas tank. This isn't just fuel. It's a time capsule of ancient life. It was sealed underground and pressure, cooked like nature's own extreme, multi-million-year slow cooker. It sounds like a secret ritual, but it's just chemistry, pressure, and a shocking amount of dead, microscopic organisms. These fossil fuels are the Earth's darkest, most valuable, and most controversial treasure. The real question is, why is the entire modern world built on this strange, prehistoric goo? Let's uncover the secret that is fueling your morning commute. Forget the dramatic T-Rex in a gas tank myth. What is oil really? Chemically, it's just hydrocarbons, fuel that used to be alive. We're talking about tiny, plankton-sized organisms and algae that lived in ancient oceans and lakes. When they died, they sank, creating a sludge layer. But here's the crucial detail that makes your commute possible. They didn't rot. They were trapped in oxygen, starved environments where no worms or bacteria could break them down. They were perfectly preserved for a future we couldn't imagine. It's the ultimate leftovers story, except these leftovers are worth trillions. Creating oil is a 5-step, multi-million-year recipe. Step 1: start with billions of dead plankton, the raw, organic matter. Step 2: bury them under massive layers of sand and mud. Step 3: turn up the heat to 120 to 300 degrees F. Too cool, and nothing happens. Too hot, and it turns to carbon sludge. Step 4: add pressure, the weight of mountains pressing down. Step 5: wait, literally a few million years. This happens in a geological sweet spot called the oil window. At lower temperatures, you get the easier to extract crude oil. At higher temperatures, that oil gets cracked into natural gas. Miss the window, no fuel for you. This entire process is a miracle of geological timing that we just happened to stumble upon. If oil and gas are lighter than water, why don't they just float to the surface and disappear? Simple gravity, rock, and a bit of luck. The hydrocarbons migrate upward through porous rock, like water through a sponge. Then, they hit a wall called the cap rock. This cap rock is a dense, non-porous layer, like a geological piece of plastic wrap. Picture an underground sponge, filled with liquid gold, sealed by a massive layer of shale. The oil and gas are trapped underneath, sealed in this gigantic, natural Tupperware container. They wait there until an engineer comes poking around with $1 billion drill. Without that cap rock, your car would be running on wood. So, how do we find this locked-up treasure? We don't just guess anymore. Geologists use a technology that's basically an ultrasound for the planet, called seismic surveying. They send powerful sound waves deep into the earth. When the waves hit different rock layers, they bounce back as echoes. Supercomputers can then map the underground geometry by listening to those echoes. They look for arched folds in rock layers, the inverted bowls called anticlines, where the oil is trapped. Sometimes it's a bust, a dry hole. Other times, the signals look just right, and the companies move in. It's high-stakes treasure hunting, played with satellites and machine learning. Let's finally kill the myth. Is your car fueled by T-Rex? Not exactly. The vast majority of liquid oil comes from those billions of marine microorganisms, the plankton and algae. Coal deposits, however, often come from ancient ferns and swampy forests. So, while the idea of driving a liquefied dinosaur is fun, the reality is a little less dramatic. Think more of a prehistoric sea plankton smoothie. Still, knowing this makes filling up your gas tank either slightly more poetic or intensely disturbing. And here's the kicker. Those same marine organisms are still alive today. Give us a few million years, and today's oceans could be tomorrow's fuel tank. Here is where the controversial part begins. Burning oil and gas releases energy, but it also rapidly releases carbon dioxide, locked away for millions of years. We're emptying a 300 million year savings account in a 100-year shopping spree. The Earth simply doesn't have overdraft protection. This massive release traps heat, changes global weather patterns, and drives the climate crisis. Beyond the carbon, there are the messy realities of extraction. Think of the massive oil spills in the Gulf of Mexico, methane leaks, and the geopolitical conflicts of the last century. It's a convenient mess, but a mess nonetheless. If the carbon is the biggest problem, then what about flaring? This is the process where oil companies literally burn off excess natural gas at the wellhead. They do this because it's cheaper than capturing and storing it. They are setting money and a powerful greenhouse gas on fire. This creates massive plumes of toxic light and smoke in places like Texas. This isn't just wasteful, it's an active choice to pollute. It's the visual, dramatic symbol of our current energy inefficiency. When you see those huge flames, you are looking at the raw, volatile cost of our cheap energy. Will we ever run out? Technically, yes, fossil fuels are finite. We're using them far faster than the Earth can produce them. The real issue is that we're running out of easy oil. The cheap, shallow, light stuff is dwindling. What's left is deeper, riskier, and far dirtier and more expensive to refine. This is why the world is rapidly pivoting to alternative solar, wind, and geothermal. We are also looking at the holy grail of clean energy, nuclear fusion. Betting the future on more plankton deaths is simply not a great long-term strategy. Imagine a world where oil was never discovered or couldn't be extracted easily. The Industrial Revolution would have needed a completely different fuel, perhaps wood or whale blubber. The 20th century wouldn't have happened as we know it. No mass-produced plastics, no modern agriculture, no asphalt roads, no air travel for the masses. The political map would be unrecognizable, no petrodollars, no oil-rich nations. Oil wasn't just a fuel, it was a force multiplier that accelerated humanity by decades. It gave us the modern world, for better or worse. Here's a thought for the future. Could oil exist on other planets? Technically, yes, if they had the right life and geological conditions. Saturn's moon Titan, for example, has entire lakes of liquid methane and ethane. It's essentially an oil moon, minus the dinosaurs. While space oil remains sci-fi, it shows that the basic chemistry is universal. If humanity ever becomes an interplanetary species, the first conflict will probably be about resources. We are very on-brand that way. Imagine the commercials. Smooth, smoky, slightly radioactive, imported straight from the Saturn system. Next time you fill your gas tank or unwrap a plastic package, spare a thought for the billions of microscopic organisms. They died, sank, and simmered in the Earth's crust, just so you could have a morning coffee. Oil and gas are ancient, complex, and in a strange way, miraculous. They are also a profound reminder that even the deepest resources have limits. The future probably looks cleaner, quieter, and less flammable. But for now, we're all still living off the ghosts of oceans past. And if you ever feel small and insignificant, just remember, it only took a few billion of your microscopic ancestors to power a global economy. No pressure.